One of my favorite West Virginia targets is now a West Virginia Mountaineer, and I cannot be more stoked. West Virginia is going after an All-American wide receiver at the Division II level, and man, this roster has really been impacted. Let's talk about it all. This is Locked On West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. Welcome into Locked On West Virginia. Going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. This episode going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. If you want to take control of your finances, use Monarch Money and use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your very first year. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen of the day, guys, or your second, or you're later in the day listen, but you're here every single day. We're here 7 days a week, and I can't thank you enough for that. Man, I took a big nap today. This weather's been horrible. The rain, it's bad outside right now. I mean, literally the electric could go out at any moment. So if you see me disappear off the screen, you'll know why. But thanks for being here, guys, and being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day. You guys are the everyday people around here. You're everydayers. You're the 1%ers, and we run 7 days a week around here. The Discord link is in the chat if you want to be a part of that. A lot of West Virginia talk in there. They talk in there more than I do. I come in whenever I have something to drop. But I mean, for now, because I spent so much time working on all this, today was the most break I've taken in a long time. I took about 5 or 6 hours and just slept because I've been staying up until 3 and 4 in the morning, literally every night, just obsessing over this. It's not healthy, I know. West Virginia got a big commitment today, in my opinion, and not everybody agrees with me, and that's fine. Everybody says I sprinkle too much sugar on the commitments. That's fine if that's what you want to believe, but I choose to find the silver linings in a lot of these things. In this case, it's not finding a silver lining. This kid is a monster, and happy to have that, right? Happy to get this guy. Wasn't sure we were going to get him. I spoke to him, the other day before I did the he's visiting video, and wasn't sure if he would want to join a room with all the guys we have in there. Turns out that's not a problem. He thinks he can get on the field, and so do I. I think he'll absolutely be in the 3 deep. I don't know, guys. That's just my opinion. But let's get to the breakdown and the tape. We're going to do both because I think he's worth it. We're going to do it twice on him. I don't care. Kannon Katzer. This is my complete, comprehensive transfer analysis of him. He's 5'9", 195 pounds. He's from Washington. He's got 2 seasons remaining, which is a big deal, guys. Today he commits to West Virginia on May 1st. He was at Washington State as a walk-on where he had limited playing time. Citrus College, he was a junior college stint. And finally at Ferris State, where he became one of the best running backs in all of the country, averaging 9 yards a carry. Insanity. Received offers from West Virginia and others, guys, as he was able to roll through his transfer portal process. Listen, his high school stuff. Somebody sent me something before I came on, and I can't remember his name. I apologize, but he's in the chat. Maybe he'll say something. He sent me some stuff on his high school stuff. So at the 3A level in Washington, which is right around 2,000 students from what I was able to look up, which is probably like close to Division I for them. He was the league MVP in Washington State. All-purpose yards, he had 3,100, 39 touchdowns. He had 247 carries for 25, 43, 10 yards per carry, which is right there where he's at now, and 34 touchdowns. He's also had close to 300 receiving yards, which is 13.7 yards per reception and 4 touchdowns. He was incredible on kickoff return. So it's that versatility, runner, receiver, return specialist. He's a willing blocker, which we'll show that too. So we'll skip Washington State. We'll skip Citrus College, even though he had great numbers there, 975 and 16 touchdowns. We really want to get to the Ferris State numbers. They were a national championship team, guys, so they had really good players. That's also a big reason. I mean, I'm sure he would even say that. But he had 128 carries last year for close to 1,200 yards, where averaged 8.8 yards per carry and had 11 touchdowns. He also had 21 catches for 301 yards, which is 14.3 yards per catch and 3 touchdowns. Ferris State was one of the best teams in the country all year last year. It's not really a surprise that they were so good, and he was one of their best players. So he was one of the best players on one of the best teams. That's always a good thing to see. He runs 22 miles an hour, guys. That's elite top-end speed. This aligns with that yards per carry, right? Because he's getting downfield before guys lay hands on him. He's probably at the backer/safety level before guys get hands on him a lot of times. 10 yards down the field, that's at the chains. Like, it's insane. It says here, scouts describe him as having elite vision, allowing him to navigate through traffic and finding lanes effectively. This is evident when you look at his yards per carry across high school, JUCO, and Division II. He's highlighted as being an explosive back with terrific speed, which is shown repeatedly on tape. And at 5'9", 195, he's a slightly undersized player for Power 4. But that, to me, doesn't matter anymore. There have been so many really good running backs. Deuce Vaughn, we can go back just a couple years ago, K-State. That was about what he was, and he was the best running back in possibly the country, right? And has had an NFL career. We can go Darren Sproles. We can go a million different guys. This guy has that kind of same exact kind of skill set that those guys had. He hides behind offensive linemen. He makes one cut. He gets upfield, and then he's a jitterbug from there. He can cut inside and out, or he can take you long speed with that top end speed at 22 miles an hour. That's not – you can't fake that. I don't care if that's Division IV. If you're running 22 miles an hour, you're one hell of an athlete. That's just flat out. And I'll show you guys where it says that. So, he had some Power 4 interests. He also had some G5 interest as well. So, it seems like West Virginia may have been his best offer. That's fine. I'm okay with this. Like I said yesterday on Darren Lewis, this staff has to get guys that other teams are overlooking in a lot of cases. And I think this guy here, I just believe in him. And I told you guys this the other day, when you turn on the tape, it's hard to imagine this guy not being productive. For me, it is. Now, his size and stuff like that could get in the way. Sure, it could. Yeah. I don't think it will. I mean, he's almost 200 pounds. That's not Garrett Green's size, where he was playing at 170-ish, right? Which I think Garrett got up there a little further than that later in his career. So, and he did make the team at Washington State as well. So it's like, he's already got that Power 4 experience to an extent. He knows what he's going up against as far as your everyday athlete, because he played at Washington State during a time which they were pretty good. I think Cam Ward might have even been there. I don't know. I have to go cross-check the year, but so I think he's going to be a rotational back here at first. And possibly a change of pace option behind Jaheim, because I think right now you still have to presume him as the starter. He's earned it. He's one of the only returning players from the team. A lot of people feel like he has All-American potential. It's just the truth. So Jaheim White is going to be the starter probably, absolutely, coming into this year. But that doesn't mean Kannon Katzer doesn't have the ability to make a big impact on this team. And with 2 years of eligibility remaining, he can walk in the next year being the guy if he puts in enough work this year. And I think that's what he's probably thinking himself. And this you look at Trey Stewart last year, another Division II guy that went to Jacksonville State led the country in rushing, right? So Rich Rod knows what these guys look like. That's what I'm trying to point out here. Rich Rod and company know exactly the kind of running backs that work in their system. Look at a guy like Steve Slayton. He was about 5'10", right? 190 pounds. Very similar size to Kannon Katzer. And what was he so good at? Well, he had elite long speed, and he would make one cut and get upfield. Steve Slayton wasn't Tavon Austin. He wasn't dancing around a whole lot. I mean, he did at times, the Maryland game. But, I mean, most of the time it was a cut upfield, and I'm outrunning everybody to the goalpost. And that's what this kid is. Now, I think he's got very similar speed to Steve Slayton. I don't know if he's got the same explosion, but it's close, I think. But, it's hard to say anybody's as fast or explosive as Steve Slayton. But I do think this kid is in that. He's in that area, right? So that's just me, though. We'll look at the tape here in a second. For those of you that maybe didn't see him the first time around, we'll show a couple plays of him where he just. I mean, it's honestly silly. It really is, and it is at the D2 level, but it's at the highest level of D2. And you can look on a field and see guys moving against other guys and see like what kind of athlete they are. I say that all the time. And it's like on the basketball floor, you can tell when a guy's different. This guy's different. So obviously I've had this transfer impact meter scale all off season where I've done it based on it's a scale from 1 to 50, 5 categories from 0 to 10. So the way this works is I do fit, athleticism, production, upside, and impact. So fit, I think he's a 9 out of 10. His speed, vision, receiving ability align perfectly with what Rich Rod wants to do, guys, in this spread offense. His versatility of a runner/passer, his pass catcher is exactly what West Virginia needs and that's dynamic playmakers that you can hand the ball to in a multitude of situations that can get downfield quick. When, like Tony Caridi said yesterday, when West Virginia has been really good, they've had elite breakneck speed. Right? Let's go to break really quick. We'll finish breaking this down on the other side. Get to some tape. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia, guys, is going to be brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. That's right. We love talking about them. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console is required here. Just grab your pair of controllers, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass for Ultimate with EA Play included. You're ready to go then. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports, College Football 25, Call of Duty. As easily, you can stream your favorite shows as well. Don't forget, guys, if you want to jump in and see your favorite Xbox titles without needing your console in every room, you can use one of these TVs. How do you game when you're not in front of your main setup? Well, hotel stays, family visits, or even just in the bedroom, the Fire TV Stick 4K makes it possible to keep playing from almost anywhere. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and a compatible controller are going to be required here, guys. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. It's segment 2. Let's crack a do and finish breaking down this just amazing kid, man. I love talking with him. He was such a nice guy. Very, very upfront and honest about his situation, which I love as well. So let's break down this impact meter, and then we'll get to his tape really quick. And then we'll get to the D2 All-American that they're going after as well. So obviously this is based off of fit, athleticism, production, upside, immediate impact, etc. 9 out of 10 fit. We talked about that. Athleticism is an 8 out of 10. He's got elite speed at 22 miles an hour. He's got excellent vision. He told me himself that he runs a 4.48 40, which is very, very good. And I have that message in my inbox if anybody needs to question it. So he's got excellent vision and explosiveness, which are very much standout traits. 8.8 yards per carry, 40.8 yards per return on kickoffs, guys. That's athletic. That's athletic upside. So what about production? Well, I mean, it's there, right? He was dominant in high school. He was dominant in JUCO. He was dominant at Ferris State. So that's great to see. Upside is an 8 out of 10. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining, which leads me to he has growth to learn. He has the time to learn the system and potentially grow into a number 1 guy or number 2 guy here. I think he's got that kind of potential. His versatility and speed suggest a very high ceiling, but the jump to Big 12 competition is going to be interesting to watch here, and I'm not going to sit here and promise it's going to happen. I think he's got the tools to make it happen. His immediate impact, I think, is a 6 out of 10 because it's unlikely for him to start over Jaheim White or Jalen Knighton this year, but I think he'll play as a rotational guy. I think, Dior Hubbard, him, Ty Edwards will all get a bunch of carries, and whoever gets hot, whoever plays best this summer, we'll know by the end of the summer who our guys are. So I think, and here's the thing about this kid too. The other guys aren't, Jaheim's a great receiver. Knighton can catch it a little bit. This kid here is a very good receiver that you can play in the slot as a receiver, and you can put him in the backfield with Jaheim White, and you can split him out, and he can run routes, and he's slippery and quick. So, he's got so much utility. You can put him in kickoff. You can put him on punt. You can put him on kickoff block. There's so many different things you could do with him. So I've got a score of 40 out of 50 here. Which what does that mean? Well, 0 to 20 for me is minimal impact, which means he's a depth piece. I've got 21 to 30 is rotational contributor with limited upside. 31 to 40 is high impact rotational player with starter potential, which is where I've landed him today. And 41 to 50 is an immediate starter or game changer. I think that's next year for him. I got to be fair here, right? I can't just say he's going to come in, he's going to beat out Jaheim White. Like, that's way too leaning way too hard into it. And as much as I like him, I have to be faithful to my viewers to watch. And this is my analysis. I'm not sprinkling sugar on this. I really like this kid. I think he's got a great shot to be a good player for us. Let's get to the tape, because I think at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to help change people's minds. So let's share a screen here. Let's get over to Kannon Katzer for a second. I'm not going to play the whole tape through like I did last time, because I'll get caught up in it sometimes. Those on podcasts probably get tired of hearing me talk on these tapes. So here's Kannon Katzer at Ferris State in the backfield. Yeah, it's on there. As the receiver comes in motion, stops, he gets the ball, he makes 1-2 cuts, and he splits safeties, and he's gone. And this is Slippery Rock, who was one of the best teams in the country in Division II this year. And they've got a wide receiver that's getting actually recruited by us, but they've also got they also have a couple other players on defense that went Power 4. So it's not like they're bums there. There he is, knocking the referee out of the way. Great blocks by his teammates as well. On a couple of these, you'll see just that elite vision and speed. Here it comes again. That speed really is what I think is going to make him such an impact player for us, because this is exactly the kind of play Rich Rodriguez runs, right? The zone play, you've got the quarterback reading this. Obviously, this guy stayed here. I'm pointing at the screen. This guy stayed here, right? So the quarterback gives the ball, and watch his vision. He presses the hole, makes a cut to the outside, tricks this guy who's trying to figure out where to fit. Right? This guy doesn't know where to fit. Does he fit inside or does he fit outside? Well, Kannon Katzer right here, with great footwork in the snow, absolutely jukes this dude and makes him take the wrong hole. And he's gone. I love that, right? So that's why I think this is one of the reasons I think he's an immediate fit in the Rich Rod offense, because this is our offense. This is what we run. It's a little bit different, but it's very similar too. So here it is again. Not a big hole here. Obviously, there's one opening here. But look this guy crashes down. This should be over. But watch the contact balance. Nope. And he's still going, and then everybody's beat to the end zone again. This kid is special, in my opinion. And I love watching him play. And look, here he is as a receiver out of the backfield. Once again, contact balance. He was tripping going down the sideline there, but he's got soft hands. So over and over, you see that on tape as well. Here he is coming out of the backfield. This is a play that Trinidad Chambliss probably made more than anything. But as you can see, gone again and got the nose for the end zone. We'll show one more run. Look at the cuts. He's got cut ability as well. He's also got great awareness on the field. You can see there. And here he is in the snow again. That snow game that's a crazy move there. The slap, get off me. That's like Adrian Peterson did against the Browns, I believe, in 2012. So here, like, you got the referee, you got this guy right here. That's a tough spot to be in. It's not like he can use all this space he's got right here because the referee's right in his way. So he just slaps this guy plumb out of the way. Get off me. And then the cut to the outside. See, that's the vision. The vision that I'm talking about that makes him he gets you 20 extra yards because of vision, guys. There's a lot of guys that would have just kept running straight this way and got tackled right here, which would have been a great run. But guys like Tavon Austin, I mean, there's not nothing exactly there. There's a guy here, there's a guy here, there's a guy here. But this guy, he sees this guy behind him and uses that. He manipulates his speed, right? Much like a pitcher does to use things to his advantage. So he gets just cuts right in front of that guy and gets an extra 15 yards. You know, you can't teach some of this stuff. This will be the last one, but this is one of my favorite runs he does too. So as you can see, he gets the ball up the gut again, which they run into between the tackles all the time. Not a big hole here, but there's one opening here off the edge. But I mean, he's got a guy crashing down. You can see, like, a lot of these aren't huge holes. He's got 1, 2, 3 guys around him right here. But I mean, he just slips by because of that size. It could be a great advantage too. And watch this. See that vision again? Another referee in the way. This guy. The cut ability to get outside. Boom. It's just one quick cut, and then he's quick. So he keeps gaining yards. This kid can really play, man, and I think he'll make – that's a disgusting move. I know I said it was going to be the last one, but look at this move right here. Boom. Bounce it to the outside. I mean, that play should have been dead. Should have been dead. So, you know, he'll come in here and make an impact. Here he is out of the backfield again. Soft hands, very similar to other plays they've made. So, you know, like I said, guys, Kannon Katzer, I couldn't be a bigger fan. I think he's going to come in and make an impact. I just don't know when. If it be this year, if it be next year, I think it'll be some year. And this is a guy that is going to have to, you know, he's got a lot of people he's going to have to beat out to get carries, but I think he will. I think he'll end up in the top 3. He runs a 4.49 40. He tops out at 22 miles an hour, for those of you guys asking. So, you know, he's got way enough speed, but it's the vision. It's the extra things that give him these extra yards, right? That's what I like about him the most. Let's go to break really quick, guys, and we'll talk about this D2 All-American. I had a guy reach out to me today who said, hey, just want to let you know my client is being contacted by West Virginia. We're going to talk about him next, guys. Stick around. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. Have you ever checked your bank account and wondered, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances. It's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center where you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you just stop managing your money and start building your wealth. Manage your money with your partner is easier and smoother than ever with easy collaboration with this product. You can crack shared and personal accounts, guys. Set goals and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money and use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for 50% off that very first year. Let me get a drink, guys. Okay, so I got a message in my inbox today, and it was like right before I started to take my nap, which no judgment. It's supposed to be a judgment-free zone here. And so I was like, well, who is this? Let me get to my X page here really quick. So let me find it. All right. So we'll share the screen really quick. So here it is. Michael Salvo. Love your work, Paul. Heads up. In addition to UConn wide receiver Josiah Gatings, West Virginia is now interested in Star Division II wide receiver Trevan Tate. So I said, thanks a ton, Michael, and then started looking into that because obviously that's something I feel like is pretty cool. So that's what I did. And whoa, this guy's good too. Obviously, you know, here's the thing. I know what people are saying. I've seen the criticisms. I've seen a lot of people say, God, they're going after so many Division II players. And I understand it. I'm not saying that you're wrong in your criticism. I'm just saying this. We just remember we added 3 former or two former SEC offensive linemen last week, and another one that transferred to Mississippi State that was starting all spring long, but decided that it wasn't a good fit for him and left for West Virginia last minute. So technically, three guys that could have played SEC ball come in to play this offensive line. They know what you don't see them bringing in too many FCS guys in the trenches, right? There may be one or two, but they got to be special, right? So I think, it's easier to project skill talent because it's technique based for sure, but it's not as technique based. At the end of the day, a raw athlete can help you, even if he doesn't have great route running skills, even if he doesn't have great blocking skills, what have you. If he's fast and explosive, you can see that on tape, and it's not anybody can do that. And that's what this guy is. He's explosive. He's a great athlete. Not saying that he's raw in any way at all. I'm just saying for people that want to judge these guys that may be at a smaller school, in this day and age, because of the portal, a lot of better players are stuck down there because all the Power 5 teams like Texas, they spent $40 million on their roster, snagging up all these other Power 4 teams, right? So what's happened is I think there's become a bit of a bottleneck effect at the top where a lot of teams like, the Habs are picking up nothing but the very best from Power 4, which means other Power 4s like us are picking up the best from G5 and some Power 4, and then you get down to the next level. And then I think a lot of these guys are just kind of at D2. They're not being scouted as much out of high school. Like some of these guys probably would have been, maybe they would have went FCS. Maybe they would have went Group of 5 had they had a bit more exposure. But the portal has flipped this all on its head, in my opinion. So this kid here is an interesting one, right? Let me get to my thing on him really quick. Where do I have that written? Okay. Trevan Tate. He's at Clarion University, which is a D2 in Pennsylvania. That's important, right? Pennsylvania. His hometown is in Pennsylvania, which means he's an in-state product. He had 65 catches for 1,100 yards, averaged 17.5 yards per catch, and 5 touchdowns. So that's a dominant season, right? I would imagine. At Mercyhurst, he didn't have those stats the year before. So this was his first breakout year. So recruiting analysts, I did a big search on him. Took an hour or so, watched tape, did a search like I do for everybody. Like all this stuff I'm reading from you guys is written out. And then I just take it and run it through something that corrects all my spelling and things like that. But this is all my words, So, like he's described by recruiting analysts as having serious raw talent, indicating extremely high upside. Averaged 17.5 yards per catch, which suggests explosiveness and the ability to stretch the field. He's a 2-time All-American, guys. That speaks for itself. And he's a deep threat. That's what he is. He's a deep threat. He gets deep. He beats guys deep with route running. He beats guys deep with leverage. He beats guys deep with great footwork. He beats guys deep with some speed. So, I think scouts, even in the NFL, have taken note of him, which one scout I read, if he moves to the Power 4, I think it's going to boost his visibility for the NFL draft, and I think he'll play well. I'm summarizing, but he said, I think he'll play well in the Power 4. So there is limited data on certain things about him, like, what his high school tape, like I couldn't find it. So, I wasn't able to go full deep, but, you look at who's after him. A lot of times the offer list tells you a lot, right? He's got some nice schools after him, guys. Utah, Stanford, Pittsburgh, Arkansas, Arkansas State, Kent State, West Virginia. So Power 4 schools have taken notice. And, that All-American status, the production, absolutely. Why wouldn't they be, right? So I think West Virginia has 9 receivers, right? Or 12 receivers from yesterday, I believe it was. I looked and see. So this guy's going to come in and be in a room where he's going to come in and be able to absolutely be able to come in and probably make an impact. My 5 categories for him on the impact meter scale: production is 15 or 10 out of 10. Apologies. His D2 stats are elite, obviously. His fit with the scheme, probably a 9 out of 10, right? His roster, the roster needs on this, I think, are a 9 out of 10. We really need more wide receivers, and they made it really, really obvious, guys. They've made it really, really obvious. I've got him rated a 42 out of 50 on the scale. I think he would be a big impact player for us. Let's get to the tape, though. I think that just like the last one, you don't All-American's an All-American to me. Like, yeah, it says a D2 level for sure. And I don't think I'm not saying this guy would come and be an all, a Big 12 guy necessarily, like all Big 12 or anything like that. But I do think he would come in and crack the rotation to be a very good player, possibly catch 30, 40 balls for us, something like that. And he's got the potential for more. So check this tape out, though. It's really nice. 65 catches, 1,137 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's got 100 receptions in his career for 10 touchdowns and almost 1,800 yards. So very productive. Trevan Tate.
1st and 10.
Let me get that turned off. I'd like to leave it on, but I don't want to get hit. All right. So I'm pretty sure this is him right here. You see that route, guys? Really nice route there. Watch him go in, and then boom, and that's beautiful. See what he was looking for there was watch the corner commit. Remember, I don't know if you guys were here the other day when I did my analysis on Darian Lewis, but Darian Lewis did something where a quarterback broke in. He's basically what is he doing right here? He's faking inside leverage to this guy's left hip, and he's making that in cut, right? That's what he thinks. So what's he thinking? I'm watching the quarterback's eyes. I'm going to beat him to the spot. But a good route runner can sell you on that and then take you upfield on a see ya. So watch this. And I'm gone, right? Let's watch it one more time in full. I went back a little bit too far, didn't I? Okay. There he is. He takes 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, boom. Upfield. And this guy's beat by 5 yards. Great catch. I'm in the end zone. Beautifully done. That's what I'm talking about, those route running skills, baby. If you got route running skills, you can be productive anywhere. This must be some practice footage. High pointing the ball. Catching it over. What the hell? I didn't see this one yet. What is this? What the hell? Look at this catch, guys. For those of you listening on podcasts, so he's running down the field. He's in the end zone. One of the corner is basically hugging his hip, and he has to turn around and come back for the ball a little bit. And as he does that, he's got his arms stretched out, and he is, semi-horizontal in the air with his feet basically up on his hip is hugging the shoulder of the guy guarding him, and he basically grabs him in a chokehold and catches the ball at the same time. What is this? I mean, look at this. He's literally choking him out right here and made the catch. This guy had to be mad, dude. Look at how mad he was. That's a crazy catch, y'all. Are you serious right now? That's nuts. No wonder he put that on film. That was practice film. Here he is right here, guys. He's outside. That's a nasty route. Little shifty. There he is. So right away, you can tell what's one thing you can see about this kid here. He's very good at coming back for the ball. He's very good at adjusting in the air. Nice catch. And that was a terrible throw. I mean, that throw should have been, look, whenever he turned around, this throw should have been right here, right? It should have been on that back shoulder so he can turn around, and it's almost indefensible, especially when a corner has this leverage. But obviously he missed it, and it should have bonked him in the head. Good catch. That's against Shepherd, by the way. Tyson Bagent's former college. Here's a slow-mo one. One-handed catch, guys. That's very impressive. One-handed catch in stride. Here he is running, and he just beat this guy with speed. That's just beating somebody with speed. Pretty good. There he is in practice, or is that him on special teams, or what's going on there? It's hard to tell. I'm assuming that must have been him in practice with the ball in his hands, showing some speed there. There he is right here. You can tell just by the speed. I didn't even know where he was at, guys, but you can just tell by the way he moves, right? You can tell by the way he moves. There he is right there. You know, like he's just you can a different athlete than everybody else on the field. It's very easy to tell, in my opinion. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say sometimes you can just tell in relation to everybody else on the field. This guy moves different than everybody else, right? Whenever I went and watched West Virginia play Georgia Tech in the Gator Bowl, 2008? Yes, 2008. I was sitting in the end zone of the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium, and I would say I was back here in the end zone. Calvin Johnson was on the outside, and he ran a post route across the field towards the pylon. It looked like our safeties were in slow motion. I'd lie to you not. He was so much faster and more athletic than them. It was just, I had never seen anything like it. He was so big. He was 6'5". It was insane. Well, this kid isn't on that level, but you can just tell when a guy is so much better than everybody else. And look, he just gets through people and he makes plays.
Garcia back to pass. Pressure coming. Gets the throwaway down the middle. It is caught, and that.
Nicely done. Can't really see him here, but maybe he comes in the frame. There he is. He's got two guys beat down the field. So this guy does it with speed, but he's also got great ability to adjust. There he is out running a route towards the pylon, wide open 10, 15 yards ahead of everybody. So that speed really gets him in positions to be good, right? There he is on the outside again. This quarterback, all he had to do was throw it deep to this kid. That looked like a blown coverage maybe. But as you can see, that speed, he beats everybody to the end zone. Very interesting player, guys. Curious to know what you guys think about him. Would love to see him in Morgantown, absolutely. Think he would be a high-impact player for us. And I think he would be fun to see in that wide receiver room because we need some impact players there, don't we? So we'll continue to monitor that situation, guys, as we roll through. Something I wanted to look at is really quick before we go is the roster update and the defensive side. I think it's interesting, right? We've got 11 edge defenders. We've got 3 interior tackles. We've got 4 seniors, which are Eddie Kelly, Jamori Robinson, Hammond Russer, and Eddie B. We got 3 juniors. We got 4 freshmen defensive ends. We've got a redshirt freshman in Quentin Goins. On the defensive backs, we lost 9 players, guys, and Jacoby Spells was included in that. But we added Nick Taylor from App State, right, who was a true freshman when he played. We've added Darren Lewis in this cycle. And so we've, pretty dang good on that, I think, adding him. So, safeties and corners, 22 players, 11 seniors, no juniors, which is really weird. Maybe a strategy. I just decided to break this down earlier today. Sophomores, we've got 6 if you include Nick Taylor, 1 redshirt freshman and 5 freshmen. Very interesting, right? Linebackers, we had obviously some big losses there, but we've added Ben Bogle, John Lewis here recently. In the current roster, you got 13 guys, 5 seniors: John Lewis, Braden Siders, Chase Wilson, Reed Carrico, and Caden Beiser. Juniors, you've got Ben Bogle, Ben Cutter, Marshawn Oxley, Keenan Eck. 1 sophomore, 1 redshirt freshman, and 2 freshmen. Defensive line is really young, guys. I think Eddie Kelly is a big addition in that room. Defensive backs are really senior heavy, but you're versatile with Darren Lewis and Nick Taylor recently added there. Linebackers is an experienced room now with Chase Wilson and Ben Bogle. I really do like those two. And I do think Lewis will play some. I don't know. I think he'll be a guy you can play a bunch of different spots. So West Virginia, I think it's defensive part of this is coming together. I wasn't able to do the offensive one because it takes a lot of time to break everybody down by a year and all that. So it's going to be fun to see where this all ends up, guys, because we keep hearing they're still not close to being done. They want to add more. I don't know. Maybe they're expecting them to grandfather people in. and they're going to go back up to 120 again. I don't know, but they're projecting us. We could possibly be at 75, possibly 80 new players, guys. Jack State was at 60, I think, last year, or 65. They lost that first 3 games. Tony Creedy made a really great point on, if you didn't see this interview, he did an interview the other day where he talked about, basically West Virginia's got 2 easier than normal games. I don't think Ohio University is an easy game based on how good they've been the last few years. But that Robert Morris game is a great opener for us. Then you got Ohio U. Hopefully you're getting your footing by then. But I think that's a game I'm going to be worried and nervous about. And I don't know how good they're supposed to be this upcoming year, so that matters. But if they're as good as they were the last couple of years, we could be in trouble up there if we're not ready. Then you got Pitt. But you got 2 tune-up games before Pitt. It's going to be very important for this because Jack State started 0-3. I don't think that's going to happen at West Virginia. By game 3, could everybody be getting their footing? We'll see. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, guys, and for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Where we talk about your team every single day. Hopefully, some of you guys are safe from that nasty weather today. Make sure you take it serious, guys. Stay away from windows if anything major happens, and make sure that you think about me because I'll be your protector. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you for joining. Some big ad today with Kannon Katzer. I'm a big fan of his. Think he's going to make an impact. Love to see us grab this D2 All-American, guys. He's a good receiver. And the roster continues to just be completely different from what it was last year. Almost 100% different. It's probably at this point 85. It's getting wild to see. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, guys. Have a great evening, and I'll see you guys later. I'm out of here.